Yep, that's me. Still talking too much. Instead of doing a normal video, I figured I would do a little commentary. I didn't take a lot of time doing this part, so I figured I would just kind of shorten it up and kind of give you the sweet and whatever of this video. That way you're not bored out of your mind on different stuff. So over here looking at the car. So I walk you around here to the back so that you can see the dirt that came in from the LA fires. It was pretty substantial, really. A lot of dirt. But I want to take a second and stop talking about dirt and, say Happy New Year to everybody. I haven't had a chance to really get on here and make any videos because my wife had twins, and for the past 3 months been helping her with the twins. A lot of people think, well, I would think that a lot of people think that having twins is twice as hard as having one baby. No, it's like 5 times as hard. But anyways, that's what I was doing for the last 3 months. 4 months now, because what is it? It's the 3rd month of 25, so 4 months, because I stopped in December. Anyways, happy New Year to everyone. Happy 2025. Still looking at dirt, obviously. But yeah, so I started working on the red 7-liter again, because my goal for 2025 is to get every car in the shop moving under its own power. I kind of wanted to put this car back together anyways, because I'm really interested to see if it'll actually be fine and work and run as a normal car again. But if it doesn't, I really don't care, because all I need this motor to do is run and drive so that it can move around the shop under its own power. And so that's really the goal of this, working on the red 7-liter here. I do love this car, but this car has been an absolute pain in the butt from day one. Pointing at a motor, pointing at some more stuff. The engine block on this one was pretty messed up. You can kind of see, since I let it sit for so long, you can see where the coolant has actually showed where the coolant was kind of blowing out of the gasket there. The block on this one, again, is pretty messed up. It looks like someone put sleeves in it and then used a die grinder to trim the tops of them. Some of the sleeves have slipped. I did put my straight edge across it, and the block isn't the straightest. So I'm still suspecting that this block is a 428. Right there you can see where the coolant kind of blew over into that cylinder. So I kind of understood what was going on, why it was eating coolant, and why it had problems. So I was really hoping that in the end I could get this thing operating under its own power. Just kind of wanted to take a little bit of time and put a little commentary over top of this. But yeah, back to the shop and my plans for 2025. I plan to make every car move under its own power, like I said, which is a pretty big feat in itself. I mean, looking at all the different cars, the red 7-liter, this one's pretty easy. Even the El Camino, I think what I'm going to do with that one is just put the carbureted manifold back on it, and then hang the front end back on it, basically make it run and drive. The problem with that car is the steering, so I do need to work on the front suspension. So with that one, I'll probably just end up putting the carburetor on it and then redoing that front suspension. Changing it off that rack and pinion, putting it back to a steering box. I'm standing here pointing at stuff, talking too much, but I guess I'm on this commentary talking, but doing 2 things at once, kind of showing you the red car and letting you know how the shop's going to go. But after this red car is done, my plan is to jump over to, oh, these are pretty cool. Look at the new pistons for the stroker. Those are really neat. Because when you're building a stroker motor, you're changing the lengths and the strokes of everything. Look at the piston. Look how close the wrist pin is to the top of the piston right there. That's pretty neat. It's a baby piston, but it's still got a big bore. Pretty neat how that works out. And if you've never built a stroker motor, look it up. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of math too, and you really don't want to mess up, because if you mess up, it's a lot. It's expensive. It's pricey. Those are big block Chevy rods. Eagle H-beam big block Chevy rods, mounted to a custom piston made for the 428 that actually strokes it out to a 466. Anyways, so back to what I was talking about. After I'm done with the red car, I need to pull that red convertible Mustang Fox body over there in the corner. I need to pull that out. Clean that up real quick, get that thing for sale, and get it gone and out of the shop. One, I need the money from the proceeds of that car to build a new drivetrain for the 65 hardtop, because if you remember correctly, the 65 hardtop, the drivetrain that I built for that car is going to go into the 65 convertible. After I'm done with that red Fox body, that's the next car coming down, is that 65 convertible. I need to completely go through that car and build it as quickly as possible, but also, the way I do things, I do them right, but I'm not going to geek out on that car. I'm just going to make it right. It's not going to be showroom or, SEMA quality or anything else like that. But again, I need to make that car right, which is not too bad. It's just, rebuilding the suspension on it, putting the motor and trans in it. I'll probably steal the front brakes off of the hard top to put on the convertible, because those were just cheap disc brake kit that I wanted to put on the hard top to go to the duct tape drags. So it wasn't something that I really cared about all that much, and I always wanted to put bigger brakes on that car anyways, the hard top. And so I'll move the brakes from the hard top to the convertible. Then I have all the other stuff. I already have basically all the interior except for the seats. I do need to order the seat covers for the seats. Let's see what else. The convertible top on that also I need to order. So I'm going to put the 352 4-barrel, which that's what the VIN code actually calls for. So it'll get the right drivetrain going back into it. That is an AC car. I did track down some rare AC parts for that car. So I got a lot of the parts that I need to finish that car off. I need to get that car gone out of the shop. One, I need the space. Two, I need the money. Twins are very expensive. So that's the next big project, which is going to require quite a bit. It's going to be a quasi budget build, but at the same time, I do have a lot of all the parts that were very expensive. And the floors in that car need to be replaced, which I have the floors. So there's going to be some cutting, some grinding, some welding, some, painting. I need to paint that car. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it, that Lexus silver, and then I'm going to do a black stripe, the Ford stripe, not the Chevy stripe with the 2 stripe, but the Ford with the 1 stripe kind of off to the driver's side. I'm going to put a black top on it, and then it's got black interior. I think I'm going to steal the wheels and tires off the 65 hardtop and put those on there. I think with that silver and then that kind of copper, not really copper, it's more of a brass color, wheels. I think it'll look really good. So those wheels weren't very expensive, and I can always get another set for the hardtop. After that car, after the 65 convertible is done now, it's probably going to take me like 6 months to do. I got a lot of other cars I got to jump to. Then I'm going to jump to the El Camino, hammer out the El Camino. Somewhere in there, I do need to build the stroker motor for this red car, because I need to take the motor out of this car that's completely junk and put it into my yellow car. Even though it's junk, it still does run and move on, runs. So I'm going to put that into the yellow 7-liter. And then I need to find a transmission for that car and a drive shaft for that car, and do some hokey brake setup where I can get it to at least stop under its own power. The car is going to be an absolute mess. I'll probably have to put some plywood on the floor so your feet don't fall through. It does have seats in it, so that'll be okay. I don't know what kind of transmission I'll find. Maybe an automatic. Maybe I'll take the automatic that's in the 65 convertible and put it in that car. Even though the 66 yellow 7-liter is a manual transmission car, I can still just temporarily put the automatic in it. So that's probably what I'll do there, because it's just cheap and easy, and I can get away with that. So I need the motor to come out of this car. So that means I do have to build the stroker motor for this red car, and that'll be done by the end of the year. Somewhere in there, like I said, that'll happen. I'm not sure exactly how or when, but before the end of the year, this car, the red car, will have its stroker motor. I already kind of went through the yellow car. You know the basics on what I'm going to do with that. Nothing fancy on that. Just make it run and move under its own power. The next hardest car, the Volkswagen's fine. That moves. The 124, S2000, both those are fine. The Jaguar's okay. The 57 Chevy, that one's going to be interesting. I'm not really sure how I'm going to accomplish that. I think I have most all the parts in order to do what I need to do with that car. I might just hook up the brakes on that one. Well, no, I think all the brakes should be fine. I should be able to hook it all up. I have a complete brake kit and everything for it. If I remember right, I think we did set up the steering shaft and stuff on that. So making that small block Chevy run should be pretty straightforward. It is open header. I think we put the headers on it. I can't remember. I'll have to look. So that one will be pretty simple. Hook up the ignition, give it a temporary fuel source. Well, no, it's got a gas tank. So I could just put some gas in it, and then, I don't know. That one's going to be interesting. It's in such a weird configuration right now. It's kind of worse than the yellow 7-liter, honestly, because it's going to take me a little bit of time to kind of iron out all the little kinks. Plus, that thing is packed full of all of its parts. So I do need to make a spot for a driver to actually sit in it. And again, this is only to make these vehicles move under their own power, so that a year from now, when a transport truck shows up to take all these cars to the new shop, they'll all drive on the shop just fine. You can see in the video here, I got the cylinder heads on the that quote-unquote 390 in the intake manifold. I've got the rocker arms bolted down. Looks like the exhaust manifolds are on it as well, and dropped the distributor in it. So I'm really not too far at this point from making this thing run. So yeah, that's where we're at in the video, just to kind of dip back to what you're actually seeing. But then after the 57 Chevy, the other hard one's going to be that 68 Camaro. That one's going to be interesting. I'm almost done with it. Now, the owner wants an automatic transmission and that independent rear suspension. That's not going to happen. I just need to make the car start and move on to the transport truck, which means I'm going to go through and kind of Mickey Mouse wire it. Something I don't really want to do, but I'm going to do anyways, just to make the motor start and run and move under its own power again. So that one's going to take a little bit of finagling and looking into and trying to figure out how to make it do what I want it to do without putting too much time into it. Because the majority of my time this year is going to be taken up with that 65 convertible. But I do need to focus on these other cars as well. So I think after the Camaro is done, that's pretty much the end of all of the cars that I need to get ready by the end of the year. I'm not too concerned with the stuff that's in the shop, because we are going to hire a moving company to come in and move the shop. I still want to box things up. That's kind of why I haven't really done any unboxing, because it's going to take me a month or so to unbox and organize everything, and then what? I'm going to have it that way for a couple months, and then I got to box it all back up again and move it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make do with what I've got. I do need to go through and clean up and put away some tools and do that kind of stuff, which I will do. but I'm definitely not going to do the organizing that I wanted to do. It just doesn't really make any sense, even though it's driving me absolutely crazy, and this place is an absolute mess. Oh, that drives me crazy because I can't find anything. I know I have stuff, but I just can't find it. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at with that. So that's my main goal this year, is to, you know, get the shop ready to move, make all this stuff run and drive. I'm going to go to no events this year. I'm going to nothing. I'm concentrate solely on the shop and getting it ready, because that next shop puts me back to where I was, a big, nice, fancy, beautiful shop. Anyways, guys, I'm going to jump back into some normal audio from this video because I'm about ready to start this thing up. So hang tight, and then after this next portion, then there'll be the final bit, and that'll be the normal audio again. So, yeah. Well, the time is upon us, I guess. I got everything connected, put water in it, adjusted the sniper programming, built up fuel pressure, made sure there's no fuel leaks. All that looks good. Check timing, make sure that's right. I don't know. Nothing left to do, I guess, but see what happens when you turn the key. Let's see what happens. When you're old, you gotta make old man sounds. Alright, got the... Oh, did not like that. It was angry. That's odd for sniper. It shouldn't do that. That is very odd. Why is it doing that? Maybe it had air in the fuel injection. Valves are making a little bit of noise. Open the door. Smoke is normal. Water's not really moving, but that's okay. Let me get the fan on. Probably should have had this set up before I fired it up. Getting anxious. There we go. Of course, the fan wants to blow the wrong way. Where's the locks? That holds it up. Yeah, that holds it. Okay, did you see anything happen? Oh, I got water moving. That's fun. Got lopiness happening. Get the cap. Where's the cap? There's the cap. I'm just going to let it build pressure naturally. Again, I'm not going to let this thing get too hot. I'm going to watch the temp on the gauge. There's the fan, so that means I set it to what I set the fans at 170. Having a little problem with the idle air, it seems. I haven't adjusted anything. IAC is at 17%. AFR about around 13 and a half. Battery voltage is kind of all over the place, which is weird. Keep getting battery flash popping up. Let me check that. Maybe I got a loose connection or something. AFR is back. 11, 12. Oh, that's not good. Timing's off. That might be why I've got a crazy idle. Got about 188 on the coolant temp. 190. I'm only going to let it get to 195 before I shut it down. It's climbing pretty fast. 193, 194, 195, shutting it down. Well, so I thought this morning I was going to take this thing out and drive it around. I was really impressed with the temperature yesterday, but it just doesn't want to play ball. This car is since day one has just been a headache. The whole reason why I'm building that stroker motor, and the whole reason why nothing on the car is going on that motor, because I don't trust any of it. FEs alone are temperamental, especially when it comes to cooling systems. I bled it, cycled it, drove it around the block. It just gets hot. You know, and you read some forums and the people, oh, mine runs at 210 all day. Okay. I can cut it around. The second I get into the throttle, it instantly goes hot, which tells me head gaskets are blown again, which doesn't surprise me because the block was in horrible shape. The heads were slightly out of spec when I put my straight edge across them. When I say out of spec, I could see a little bit of light under one edge of it, which is not good. Honestly, I don't care. I just needed to do this. I needed to run so I can move it around the shop. I got other things to do. I don't have any more time for this car, which is sad, because I do really love the car. I would love to have it running and driving like normal and be able to just take it out and tool around and have a great time. Now, I don't know, maybe she might come around. You know, the 352 that I built for my 65 hardtop had these similar issues. I say similar because it never blew a head gasket, but it was getting hot when I first built it. I think it was because the motor was tight and it was breaking in, but now, I mean, I had it at duct tape drags. It was over 100 degrees outside and it sat there and ran just fine. Now, I never ran it down the racetrack, you know, maybe if you put it under a load, it would overheat. I have no idea, I don't know. But it idled really well, drove around the event really fine, had no problems, stayed actually really cool. If I remember right, it was like 170, 175 is what it stayed at, which is great. I had a lot of cooling problems with that car. We took it to West Coast Power Tour. Drove it to Vegas and back, and ever since then it's been good. So I don't know. This one, I flushed the cooling system I don't know how many times, and it still looks like just chocolate milk. It's so rusty, and I don't know if it's rust, oil, combustion gases, I don't know what it is. But it's gross looking, and I flushed it and flushed it and flushed it and flushed it, trying to get it to clean up. Could not get it to clean up. So unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the story on this car, at least until next year. Well, no, because I got to build that stroker motor before the end of the year. Because all of these cars have to run under their own power by the end of 2025. Because we got to get ready to move the shop again. And it's going to be a big move that requires transport trucks. And so I want all of these cars to run under their own power so they can drive on the transport truck. So this engine is going to stay like that, and it's actually going to go into my yellow car. That's good enough. That's all I needed to do. Run, propel the car up onto a transport truck, and shut off. It doesn't have to drive around the block or go on the freeway or do anything like that. It just has to move a car under its own power. This will do fine. Will it come around? I don't know, maybe. Who knows? But honestly, I don't have any more time to play with it. I got to get on to other projects. There's a lot of other things that I need to do. I have a ton of very big projects in the shop that I need to handle before the end of the year. All of these have to run. I got a 57 Chevy up there that's got nothing on it. It's got a motor trans. I don't even know if it has a drive shaft in it. The 7-liter, the yellow one, has nothing, literally nothing. No motor, no trans, no drive shaft, no radiator, no hood, no fenders. Well, it's got fenders. I have a hood for it somewhere too. But it needs a ton. And I need it to actually stop too. That's the other thing, they have to be able to stop. So that car's gonna be the hardest. I have no idea what the brake system on that thing looks like, but I need to get that in shape as well. I have a lot of work to do this year. There's gonna be no events this year. It's gonna be solely focused on making everything run and move. Maybe it's a boring year for you guys. I don't know, maybe it'll be exciting. Again, I have no idea. I gotta get onto that red Mustang so I can get that cleaned up and sold. That's gonna give me the money to build the new 302 for my 65 hardtop, like I've said. That motor and trans out of my hardtop's going into the convertible. The convertible is going on under the knife right after that Mustang. I gotta get that thing done, painted, and sold as quickly as possible. Which that thing's gonna eat up a lot of my time this year. I still have to make the Camaro run. I gotta make the El Camino run. I might take the fuel injection off the El Camino and just put the carburetor back on it just for ease of use. Make it run very easy. I don't know. Haven't decided that yet. I'll decide when I get to it. But there's a lot of work to do in the shop this year, and I don't have no time to mess around with this car. So that's gonna be it for this car. Unfortunately, it's sad. Next year, well, no, at the end of this year, we'll put the stroker motor in it. Cross fingers that that doesn't have any problems. You know, I don't know. Maybe this thing's just cursed. I don't even know what to do with it at this point. I'm gonna take every precaution building that stroker motor. It should be fine. I think you can see the worry in my face on that one. I hope. I mean, the whole motor's gonna be brand new except for the engine block, so. And nothing on this is gonna go onto that motor except for the fuel injection and the distributor. That's it. Valve covers, air cleaner. That's it. Nothing else. Heads are new, pistons are new, cranks new, everything's new. The only thing old on that engine's the block. So hopefully that solves the problem. Anyways, guys, this has gotten long and drawn out for a very sad conclusion, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes, especially when you're dealing with these old classic cars. You know, at some point, this car will be awesome. It's just not today. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, until next time.